Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Kashif Booth podcast. If you're new here, each week I sit down with a guest and we discuss their career so far, the highs, the lows, and what's next for them. Today's guest is Rico Morris. He is an actor from London. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now it's good to have you on the show. Rico and I, we don't go way back. We go back as like last year, but when we worked on Sunday Dinner, the short film, which is available to watch on Amazon Prime in the UK and in the US. And I thought it'd be great to have Rico on this season. He's a great actor and has a great story. So it'd be good to like get into that as well. So how are you doing, Rico?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good, man. Just, working hard.
Mhm.
Um, Happy to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me on, you
No,
know.
no, it's good to have you on. And I was just looking at your bio because I need to make sure I have everyone's bio about what they do and stuff. And you've lived multiple lives before you got into acting. That's just what I'm convinced. Because you were a semi-professional football player, you were an amateur boxing champion. Like, what? Like, I just, when you read someone's bio and what they've done, it's like, wait, what? You did this? It's just like crazy. So, like, how did you have that going on in your life and then decide to pivot into acting?
Okay, so what in terms of what I was doing before, how did
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
to
like
acting?
that's a lot of stuff to be doing, and then all of a sudden now you're an actor. So it's like, what made you kind of go from that into being an actor now?
Okay, so originally as a kid wanted to be a footballer. Um I went through the whole, playing football, a couple of pro academies as a kid. Didn't make it as a professional footballer. So a lot of footballers we drop into semi-pro football. It's just a natural progression, and the standard is very good because you got to think about it, there are thousands and thousands of kids who want to be footballers, and the ones that don't make it, we all fall into this pot. I was playing football for a few years and tried to make it back into the professional ranks. Didn't quite work out, and I, I never really liked training. So that was my Achilles heel as a footballer, and I realized now that I'm older, that's probably why I didn't make it because you have to love the training in
Mhm,
whatever you do. You got to love the process, and I didn't really love the process. I just liked playing games,
mhm.
and yeah, I needed another sport to get into because I've always been a sporty person. Never really liked the gym,
Okay.
and I always liked boxing, so I wanted to try boxing. I thought, let me try boxing, just for the
Mhm,
fitness to start
mhm.
with. And then you start getting quite good at it, and then you spar. And I always say that's the turning point. Once you get punched in your face,
Oh.
you kind of realize, do I want to do this or do I not want to do this? And I was like, all right, I didn't like getting punched, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
the art of not getting hit. So I was
Mhm,
like, I want to get good at this. So I started boxing
mhm,
as an amateur boxer, was doing that for a number of years. And yeah, I managed to win like a London title for like my weight category and like my experience because obviously there's different bands of fighters. They're not going to let like a complete novice fight an
mhm,
elite amateur. So I was kind of around the novice stage.
mhm, mhm,
Um, so yeah, I won my London title, lost in the semi-final of the nationals. Um, and at this period of time, one of my cousins, he had got into the Stella Adler School in LA. So he was out there training for 3 years. And the whole time he was there, we'd be talking, FaceTiming,
mhm,
just talking about acting. And he got back to England in September 2019. And he lived in Bristol. That's where I'm originally from. And whenever he's in London, he'd stay at my place if he had auditions. And we'd just be talking acting. And one day when we're talking, he just looked at me like, cuz, have you thought about acting? I was like, why do you say that? He goes, you seem really interested and I think you'd be good at it. I was like, well, I like drama in school, but I wanted to be a footballer. Like, I didn't ever think of acting as a career. And he goes, look, just go for an audition at a part-time drama school that I went to, just to tick that box to see if you want to do it or not. Because he's like, I can see something. And I was like, all right. So, paid my money, went for my audition, and within 5 minutes, it just lit a fire
mhm,
like that fire that I had when I played football as a kid,
mhm.
when nothing was more important than it. I had that feeling again. I was like, you know what? This is what I need to do. So yeah, that was me from the start of 2020. I've just been all in, man, full
Wow.
steam.
Wow. And like 4 years later, you were booked and busy. So it's to see your trajectory in such a small amount of time is insane. So how old were you when you decided to like pivot into acting as well?
Oh, what we talking about this year live, eh? Because you know, black don't crack it.
Well, you know what? Let's just give a ballpark because I know you don't want to give
I
too
was in my early
much.
30s, in my early 30s when I started.
Okay, fine, fine, fine. Okay, because when I first met Rico, I couldn't believe his age. I was like, wait, what? Like, Rico is a dad and everything. Like, I was like, you got kids? What? Like, I
Yeah,
was so confused.
two daughters. And that's the funny thing is that whenever I tell people I have kids, they always assume like they're gonna be really young.
Yeah.
And as soon as
Hmm.
I tell them their age, they're like, "What?
Yeah,
Wait, how
yeah.
old are you?" And I'm just
Yeah.
like laughing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was us on set. I remember I was like, oh, they must be like toddlers or something. Now you were like these. I was like, wait, what? So honestly, Black really doesn't crack, like, because you just don't look like, an older person or something like that. So it was cool, and that's why you was able to play Reese in Sunday Dinner. So the way how we worked together in that, and how was that experience for you? Because it was very intense for me
You know
anyway.
what? I loved it. I loved the whole
Okay.
experience.
Yeah.
Obviously you guys had filmed the trailer
Yes,
beforehand.
yes, yes, yes,
Like
yes.
I knew nothing about the project until I
Mhm.
saw your casting call on social
Mhm.
media. And
Okay.
yeah, I applied. And another thing I do is I've got like a group of actors. Like, you know,
Mhm.
we share jobs amongst us.
Okay.
Like we're not
Mhm.
selfish. We don't just see a job and think, hey, I'll take that. Even
Yeah.
if it's a casting bracket, we
Hmm.
send it within the circle because my mentality has always been as long as one of us gets it, that's
Hmm.
the hope. But if not,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not meant to be.
Yeah.
So why
Hmm.
would I be selfish and hold on to something
Hmm.
that I want when
Yeah.
it may not be for me?
I
So
agree. Hmm.
shared it out and you know I got a self-tape request.
Hmm.
And funny enough, I was talking to one of my friends about it the other day. How the self-tape was improv.
Yes.
And
Yes. I
well,
remember
that's
that.
just like my favorite thing to do is improv.
Okay.
Um, I literally stood there for about 15 seconds, like, obviously
Hmm.
read what was needed.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, cool. Press record. And I did the scene, one take.
Hmm.
Second one, read it. I was like, okay, 15 seconds, cool. Press record. That was it. One take each, send it off.
Okay.
Don't think too much about it.
Hmm.
And yeah, I got selected, thankfully, and
Yeah.
finally got to work with you because I remember I reached out to work with you when you put our casting call for your web series
Hmm.
like in 2020, but this is when I was proper fresh and
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
never afraid to fail, you know. I mean, put my
Oh,
name in
no,
the hat
as you
for
should, as
anything.
you should. That must have been for Newlyweds.
Yeah,
That was the website.
newlyweds.
Yeah, because I put it out, yeah, in beginning of 2020, and then COVID hit, and then it just pushed everything back. So we didn't even shoot that until late 2021. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
the joys of COVID and what it did. But wow, look at that full circle moment, and now look at that. So what was it like for you, just like deciding to act? Like, what was the steps you took to, okay, I'm going to take this serious?
Well, it started with the training. Obviously, when I've gone for my audition, I've got into the school 2 days a week training,
Hmm.
and because of my boxing background,
Hmm.
because if we take away the football, because the football I wasn't disciplined. With the boxing, I was disciplined. I used to get up at 5 a.m. to run before work, not eat until midday, cycle 20 minutes to training, train for 2 hours, skip for 15 minutes at the end of the session, and then cycle home, eat my food, repeat. That was just my thing. So I realized that if you really dedicate yourself to something, you can
Hmm.
achieve. And I thought with the acting, well, if I'm going to do it, I need to take the same level of dedication I have with the boxing to the acting because I realized that I needed to quit the boxing to act
Hmm.
because again I keep telling people got to look after my face because I can't afford to turn out one day and then mess up continuity on the next day
Yeah, yeah.
and you have to be really committed to achieve anything
Hmm. Hmm.
and you can't cut corners. I don't want to, you know, whatever happens in my acting career, say it ends tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know that I can say I gave it 100% whilst I was in it,
Hmm. Hmm.
and yeah, so I just taken it in my stride. You know, at the time, another career, I was working as an electrician, so for the council whilst I was boxing, and my training was at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was taking like holiday from work so I can go to training. And they were like, "Do you know what? Why do you need the holiday?" I was like, "It's my holiday. You don't need to know why I need it." It's like,
Mhm.
"Okay, well, we're gonna reject it then." I said, "Okay, cool. I'm not coming in." So that was my attitude. I was like, I
Yeah,
found
yeah.
something I want to do. So
Hmm.
no job is gonna tie me to stop, doing what I want to do. So I started to look through the process of like maybe working for a minicab company,
Okay.
you know, and started going through the whole TFL process.
Mhm.
Then COVID hit,
Mhm.
and I had to stick with my job because I worked all through COVID.
Okay.
Because as a council electrician, you have to provide a service. You can't just not work.
Yeah,
People,
yeah.
their power goes out or they get floods where you got to isolate the electric. So
Mhm.
yeah, I did that for until the end of July 2021. And then that's when the whole minicab industry opened back up. And then I started working for one of the bigger companies. And yeah, I'm still there now, gives me the flexibility to act and audition and train.
Good.
So,
No, that's good. So what was the first role that you booked? And do you remember your feeling of like getting that role?
yeah, I do actually. It was for a commercial.
Mm.
Um so the brief came through at the start of January 2021.
Hmm.
But just as things are opening up, and it was for a featured extra in a commercial. So you had the main actor, and I'd be playing her boyfriend,
Okay.
who meant to have about 5 or 6 shots throughout the advert. But because you know what it's like when you're setting up the first shot always takes the longest. So you got to set
Mhm.
up the lights, everything, get the first shot perfect, so the rest of the day goes on. So I lost about maybe 3 or 4 of my shots that were supposed to be taken. So I only ended up with 2 shots,
Okay.
and I did them both in like kind of like 1 or 2 takes. Um, I had to get it or I wouldn't have been in the advert. And yeah, it was fun just being on set,
Mhm.
talking to costume, like talking to sound, just being around the whole environment and actually
Mhm.
seeing that it's a team that really puts this all together. Because a lot
Yeah.
of people, you think, oh, the actors, the director, the cameraman, that's all people think of from the
Mhm.
outside,
Yeah,
where it's a
yeah.
whole,
Hmm.
machine that
Exactly.
brings it together. And I have so much respect for everyone on
Hmm.
set because of these experiences.
Yeah, yeah. So how did you get this role? Did you just see a casting or did you get an agent? Like, how did you get your agent and stuff?
No, so this was through
Hmm.
so I'd signed up with extras
Oh,
agencies,
okay.
and
Fine.
I actually did have an agent at the time. I got an agent in August
Hmm.
2020. So
Okay.
let's keep it real though. It was around the time of, Black Lives Matter. Everyone was being called out. You know,
Okay.
they were just grabbing black actors from everywhere. Not to say I was just an afterthought, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like, I built up a little show reel
Okay.
in lockdown. So it was me doing like 3 self-tapes,
Hmm.
like off
Hmm.
camera and just 30 seconds of each. That was my show reel. I'd got my headshots just before lockdown, so I was ready to go. And managed to pick up an agent. And yeah, so I had my agent. I had an audition for Silent Witness in the November of 2020,
Wow.
which was they wanted a boxer, which was funny enough.
Yeah.
I did really well. I got really good feedback as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, I didn't get that role. But then this came through an extras agency, just popped up. Are you like the message came through, I think, on a Friday for the Monday. So they may have had a cancellation.
Hmm.
And again, I was like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. Fine. And obviously I called up work and I called in sick. Because I was like, well, they're not going to let me do it. So I'm not turning up. So yeah,
Yeah.
don't do that, people. Don't do what I do. That's
Mhm.
just, it is what it is. Like I'm just, for me, there's something I heard which is on a podcast I used to listen to. Obviously, I listened to this one, but this is on another one. Um, just
Thank you.
disclaimer.
Hmm.
Um, they were saying that a lot of us creatives, we have little shitty jobs on the side,
Hmm.
and you know you can always get another shitty job. So if it stops you from chasing your dreams and what you want to do, leave that job because you can always get another shitty job. Not calling job shitty, but it's just his analogy that he used that, you
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
because acting is your number one, or being a creative is your number one goal, everything else is secondary. So you can always get a secondary job after. So
Mhm.
yeah, I called in sick and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming in. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I totally understand because it's so hard because as creatives, like even on my side as well, being a freelancer, you get these short-term contracts, or you get odd jobs here and there. So you got to like have something on the side to keep you by, to
yeah,
like
exactly.
keep you steady. And it's that juggling. So how did you find that, initially, like, being in a full-time employment all the time, or even if you, because even, correct me if I'm wrong, but in like semi-professional football, they don't get paid well too, do they? So it's like you have to have a job as well.
Yeah, exactly. So
Hmm.
I always tell people that being a semi-professional anything is harder
Hmm.
than being a professional
Hmm.
because we all work on 9 to 5. And a lot of us in London, the teams that
Hmm.
you play for are on the outskirts.
Yeah.
So you're sitting in an hour and a half traffic to get to
Mm,
training. You train. You're not getting home until 10 p.m. and then
hmm.
you're getting up in the morning to go to work.
Yeah,
Same
yeah.
with the boxing. As an amateur boxer, you are a semi-pro boxer in a sense because all year long, you
Mm-hmm.
have to be 2 to 3 kilograms off your fight weight.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You have to be in condition all year long, which is
Mm-hmm.
difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pro boxers, they get a fight. Okay, I'm fighting in 3 months' time. They've got a date. They
Yeah.
train for it, and then
Mm-hmm.
they can have a break. Whereas as an amateur, you don't know
Hmm.
when your next fight's coming.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I could get a call today, and my coach be like, "Oh, someone's pulled out of the show on Friday. What's your weight like?" Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like 1 kilo off my fight weight. Okay, cool. We'll put you in there. Then you're in. There's
Hmm.
no
Hmm.
no research about
Yeah.
the fighter that you're fighting.
Hmm.
So you always have to be ready. So
So it was kind of easy for you to kind of pivot into acting because you kind of were already used to juggling, multiple jobs and understanding that. Because some people, it's such a culture shock. They're like, oh my gosh, like I need to pay bills. I need to have, do this, that. But you already had done that. And that's very rare because, sometimes you're not told that when you enter the industry, that you're thrown into being freelance and it can
yeah.
put people off and they don't last long because they want to find full-time work. But you've been doing that. So, that's why you've been able to hustle and grind. And that's why you've been doing so much in such a short amount of time. Like, I couldn't believe all of the upcoming stuff you have on your IMDb. What? I was just like, wait, what's going on? I mean, it's
Yeah.
amazing because obviously
Thank
you're
you.
talented, but I love to see, you can tell how driven you are. Once you get into something, you're focused and you want to go after it. So what is it like for you? Are you getting these through your agent? Or are you like searching for your own roles? Because you've been in so many different type of films, Bollywood films, okay, British films, like you're tapping into everything. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to make sure that I tap into different markets because you can't just be in the UK bubble. So what's that like? Because I feel like a lot of people don't have that same level of drive.
Do you know what? In terms of having an agent, the level of auditions that you get are ones that you can't get yourself, like the TV stuff, the studio film stuff, the really big theater stuff. That stuff will all come from your agent. And I was always under the understanding that, you know, I'm gonna go out and get my own work, and
Mhm.
whatever my agent gets me is a bonus. Like I've
Mhm.
never relied on my agent. Like if they send me a WhatsApp, check your emails. You got what? You got a self-tape request. I'm like, oh, thanks. I check it, boom, boom.
Mhm.
If it's something I want to do, I do it. If not,
Mhm.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
And that's another key thing as well is by having another job, an actual job. And let's not say actual. I'm downgraded. You know what I mean? By
Just like
having a
a
job that
standard job. That's the
yeah,
best
by
way.
having
Yeah.
a normal job that can pay your bills, you're never tied into any work you don't want to do.
Mhm.
And that way, when you do, go up for something you do want, you really
Mhm.
do want to do it. You're invested
Yeah.
because, you know, a lot of people I hear them say, "Oh, I can never say no to my agent." I'm like, well, from my first meetings with my agents that I've had over the time, but the first thing I say is that if I don't want to do a job, I won't do it because I won't be invested. Like you have to understand that about me. If I want to do it, I will
Mhm.
be fully committed. I'll go for it, give my best. But if not, I can't hide a dislike. If it's not going to benefit, I
Mhm.
know there's money, yeah, cool, but I'm
Mhm.
not driven by money. I've never been driven by money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of those credits that we're talking about, a lot of them I found through Twitter,
Mm,
Instagram. You know, I used to use casting websites before. I'm not really on them no more.
mhm,
Obviously, we've got the spotlight through the
mhm,
agent, but
mhm,
yeah, just making good connections with
mhm,
people. You
mhm,
know, a lot of people, a lot of people act very bougie, I find
mhm.
online. Like, they don't really like to, everyone wants to look like they've got more followers than they're following. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
some people do it, it happens, yeah, but some people do it by design,
Hmm.
where it's kind of like if I meet someone and we have a common interest, I'll connect with you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where I am in my career, where you are, I'll
Hmm.
connect back because, you know, the more people you know, the more possibilities of you know, options coming out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where a lot of my works come from, is from,
Hmm.
like, people hate the word networking. I don't really look at it as networking. I just like people. I
Yeah.
like speaking to people. If I go to these networking events, I'm not one of the people that you see walking around the room with my phone. Oh, what's your name? Oh, add. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm at the bar, if I'm standing in whatever spot I'm in, and whoever's next to me, I'll
Hmm.
talk to them.
Hmm.
And if we have a common interest, I could talk to them for like half an hour, 45 minutes, and not speak to anyone else.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think, okay, I like that person. We connect. Now we've got a genuine connection. We know about each other's lives outside of why
Yeah.
we're here. And then you just keep meeting people like that. And eventually, people will be sending me jobs in my inbox, you know, just like random people, like people who I've met, like even like non-actors who I've met out. And because they know I'm acting, oh, I saw this and I thought of you. So I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
that's the
man.
power of networking and creating genuine connections. That's what you've said is I think what I do as well. Because sometimes, a lot of the time, it's so transactional with people. They just want to connect with you to see how they can get something out of this. When really, I'm just trying to connect with you properly. It's good to have peers in the industry as well
Mm.
and create genuine connections. Like, if I see something, I would probably send it to you as well and be like, oh, Rico, there's this, you might be interested, or whatever, vice versa. So I think it's so important. Just like when you invited me to your drama school thing and what we went to last year. Yeah, that was the reason because I'm a producer. We work together, and I could definitely work with some of the other students who were there. That's how you build and continue relationships as well. So it's very, very important. So I like that you said that. And I wanted to ask you this as well. Like when you stepped into drama school, how was it for you to kind of come out of your comfort zone? Because I know when they go to drama school, they have you doing some mad things like you rolling around the floor, being an animal, and all that. Like, was that a bit of a shock for you to be like, oh gosh, like, like this ain't me? But I mean, you're very chill and easygoing, so maybe, but how was that for you?
Um, let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
So I'm not in full-time drama school. It's always been part-time.
Okay. Okay.
I haven't done the 3 years, but I've always trained like at least
Okay.
once or twice a week at a
Hmm. Hmm.
part-time school, different
Okay.
schools, online, just to clarify that.
Okay,
But I'm
fine.
not, I'm not, I'm not trained like that. I'm not classically trained.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I remember my first class. We're all standing in a circle, everyone's introducing themselves
Yeah.
and their background and what they've done in the industry or their training.
Hmm.
And it's got around to me and I'm like, hi, my name's Rico. I'm an electrician, I'm an amateur boxer, I used to play football. And yeah, and everyone's like, okay, so have you done any drama? I said, oh, in school I did a play, but that was about it. And everyone was like, okay, well, that's incredible that you're here. And I was like,
Hmm.
yeah. Um, and that comes from just my go-getter attitude where I always feel like, I'm here now,
Hmm.
I have to make it work.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? From when I've gone for that audition, the class that I've gotten into, it wasn't the beginners class, it was the intermediate class. So I'm now with people who have been doing this, and I'm kind of like, well, clearly they thought I was at this level from
Hmm.
from from my performance and my audition.
Yeah.
Now I have to prove that I
Mhm.
belong here.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
my first class, shout out to Roxy, yeah. So it was a text class, and we've got paired up in twos. And they were talking about, okay, we're gonna break down the text, we're gonna break it down in beats and units and blah blah blah. Everyone's sitting there, everyone's nodding their
Hmm.
head. You go away with your partner. First thing I said to her is, "What's a beat? What's a unit?" And I
Yeah.
remember she laughed a little bit, but not like patronizing, just like, oh no, no,
Mhm.
don't worry. And then she showed me everything. And I was just
Mhm.
like, she's one person that I've got so much time for her. Just because that one interaction
Mhm.
where she could have just looked down on me, like, who is this guy coming into my space? Like the thing that I wanted to do my whole life,
Mhm.
almost looking at it like I'm being disrespectful that I don't know these things. But she didn't. She showed me what to do. And yeah, Roxy, if you ever watch this, I've told her already anyway. When the career goes to where it's going, she's gonna get nice, definitely. 100%.
Love
100%.
it,
I
love
don't
it.
forget people. I do not
Mm,
forget people.
mm,
So yeah, I've got a, I got to make it work attitude. I'm here now. I have to
mm,
make it work.
mhm.
If you put me anywhere, um, I'm here now.
No, I
I've
love
got to
that.
make it
I love
work.
that. No, it's good because you may have never, like you said, your cousin was like, "Oh, you should try this," and then you really went full into it and realized, okay, once that spark hit, you were all in. Some people they're quite shy and or introverted, so they wouldn't feel comfortable doing a lot of the stuff what drama school does or being an actor does, you're acting not just in front of the camera, but you're acting in front of a whole crew of people, knowing your lines and performing well and stuff like that. For so some people it could be overwhelming, especially if they've not been in that environment. But I think again for you it's different because you're performing in front of crowds when you're in football, you were doing that in boxing. So it's like it's I really like that pivot and it makes sense and it's very, very rare. You don't really see that. You might see that with what's it called, the wrestlers, but like WWE, but that's different. I feel like they're all trying to be actors because that's fake.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, wrestling fans, if you don't believe it's fake. But like, because even when I've started to get into watching wrestling, I'm like, how did people never think this was fake? Because the way how they carry on, I find it so funny. It's so camp and just over the top.
Mm.
So you can see that as well. So it's nice to hear your journey and how you're able to get to where you are. So let's talk about some of the roles you've been in. So, like I mentioned, you've been in a Bollywood film. How did you get that role? And what was it like being in the show? 'Cause I tried to pronounce it. I was like, you know what? I'm not trying to disrespect anyone's culture. So, what's the name of the film? Can you pronounce it properly?
Is Aero Ek Prohibiti or something? I
Okay,
can't say it
okay,
either.
okay. Because
Something like that though.
mine was like Aero Ek. Yeah, yeah, it was the same. I was gonna say Arco and see. Yeah. And you played the character Jose. So what was like that experience like? Did you film it in London? Did you get to go to India or anything like what was that whole experience?
So unfortunately, I didn't get to go to India.
Okay.
It was filmed in London.
Hmm.
So I'm registered with a company called V Show Cards,
Okay.
and they're one of the first platforms that I joined up with in lockdown. So they're a platform where you can set up a profile.
Okay.
Um, you can have three different profiles. So like you can have one as like, romantic interest,
Mhm.
one like fug or one dad, whatever, and then you can set your pictures in each profile. So when you apply for jobs, you can send that profile so
Okay.
they don't have to see the rest with
Mhm.
your tailored show reel.
Right.
And
Okay.
yes, I was on V Show Cards, and it's a great community. I'd advise you to get involved because they've got a lot of directors, producers.
Mhm.
They do a lot of work in India as well. So,
Mhm.
that's the market that you can get
I'm
into.
trying to make that money
Yeah,
worldwide.
trust me. So yeah, the guy that runs it, who co-founded it, Darren Tassels, name drop, got a name drop because I love him as well, great guy. Um, he passed my number on to the casting director, and it's like look, they're looking for, you know, black African, as they always call all us black people in Bollywood. We're just African, but it is what it is. And I was like, yeah, cool. And it was like, yeah, your character, he's a good character. Um, all your scenes would be with the lead actress. I was like,
Oh.
okay, cool, cool. Like,
Mhm.
are you available? I think it was tomorrow. It was another one of those ones. Are
Oh,
you
wow.
available
Okay.
tomorrow?
Mm.
So that's another reason why I do the job I do because of the flexibility. Like, there's been a lot of times where they've needed someone last minute, and I've jumped in, done a good job, and then I've been recommended on for other work,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
people remember you. So yeah, they just asked me, "You available tomorrow?" It was a night shoot, the first one. And I was like, yeah, I can do this. Fine. Um, I spoke to my agent because even though the work I don't have to share with my agent
Oh, good.
at the time. I wanted my agent to get involved because I'd never worked with Bollywood before
Mhm.
and, you know, payments and stuff. You
Yeah,
never know.
you
You
need
you
them
hear
to sort of,
things.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah.
was like, let them sort it out.
Hmm.
And obviously they can take their cut from it. So,
Okay,
they got my money bumped up,
good, good.
got the travel expenses paid for because that wasn't part of the original deal. And yeah, I was on set, man.
Good.
It was nice, man. They
Hmm.
proper hustle, man. They work hard. Obviously, it's weird because that's the first time I'd been on set with, let's say, a really big actor who's kind of like a superstar in their own right. So back
Hmm.
in India, she's a superstar. She's a
Hmm.
TV star doing her first film. This is a big thing.
Wow.
And
Okay.
it's funny because when I got there, how my energy is. I say hello to everyone,
Hmm. Hmm.
whether I'm the lead actor or I'm an extra, I'm saying hello to everyone. Everyone, everyone's valid to me.
Hmm.
So I remember I gone up to her like, hey, how are you? And she's kind of like,
Oh.
yeah. I kind of just intruded on her personal space. I was like, oh, sorry, you're okay. Cool. Say hello, 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 whatever. And I think I did like 4 or 5 days on that. And day three, when I turned up, she was like, "Hey!" Like, so like I
Yeah,
gained
yeah.
her respect.
Hmm.
Obviously, she saw I could act.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, I was a nice person. I had good energy. She saw the way I was interacting with all the crew.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember I had some sweets, so and she had some of my Haribo as well. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So she goes like, "Oh,
Okay.
he's a nice guy." So I was just like, "Do
Hmm.
you know what? It was nice doing that." And
Mm.
they've been in touch
Good,
for a couple other roles since.
good.
But it hasn't been like to my liking. So
Okay.
I've turned them down.
Hmm.
But it's always nice to be thought of. You do
Yeah.
a role. Obviously, I did a good job, or they wouldn't be coming back.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was fun, man. It was really interesting. Annoyingly, it hasn't been released here. They had a cinematic release in India.
Hmm.
I'm all over India.
Wow.
Um,
Did you get
then they
to
had
go to the premiere and then did you get to
no,
go?
no, 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 no.
Oh, okay.
I could have if I wanted to,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's all coming out of my own pocket. And
Oh, that's not fair. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. Okay.
And then they had a release in America and Canada.
Me, wow.
No
Okay.
cinematic release over there. I've been checking on like on the internet constantly to see if I can rip it from somewhere, but nah, I ain't been able to
Yeah.
find it. And
Oh, that's a shame that they haven't sent you a copy, or at least it would be good if you could watch it.
yeah, but
Okay.
the thing is, I've seen a rip like obviously like a 720p version of it,
Hmm.
but again, you can't even take that. It's probably like 520 or something, man. It's so
Oh yeah, that's not good
pixelated,
quality. You need
but
like 180.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they like the performance, even like one of the other actors, because you know, I connected. Well, they didn't connect back really, but like you message them and they still respond to you in the
Yeah, yeah,
DMs.
yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, do you know what? You did a really good job. I like what you did. Congratulations." And so I was like, "Okay, at least I've got his respect."
Mm.
So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
one day I
exactly.
might meet him again on set.
Mhm.
The director was happy as well.
Okay.
We all took selfies, asked me to send in the selfies after. So
Perfect.
yeah, it was good
Perfect.
vibes, man.
Ah, but what was it like being on the set? I would assume with a predominantly like Asian cast and crew. Like, what was that like? Because that's so rare, that's so rare, especially in London. What was that like for you?
Do you know what? Again, it was easy for me
Hmm.
because I guess like how my life's been in a sense of like working as an electrician to start with, working on a building site.
Mm.
There wasn't many black people on a building site. You know what I mean? And young black people anyway. So I'm there interacting with a load of people who aren't like me and I'm just getting on with it. Playing football in the Surrey leagues that I played in,
Mm.
again, not a lot of black players on the team,
Hmm.
one or two, and you're interacting with people. So I've always been around people, and I can always get along with people. So
Hmm.
being around people who, again, is their own culture, you just blend in. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
love that.
Like,
Love
I
that.
guess I never change who I am.
Hmm.
So and I seem to be doing all right. And if they don't like me, they don't like me. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
not there
yeah.
to be liked. I'm there.
Hmm.
I'm there to have a good time, right? Try and
Yeah.
make people smile. You know. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's me, man.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it's so rare. Like we don't get that here, having predominantly sets with which are non-white, With my sets, I try to make them as like diverse as possible, even majority black. Make sure the lunch is black, because we ate well that day.
Yeah, yeah, we
And
did.
then yeah, because like you don't get that, we have to eat in this crap food. So it's important, to bring our culture, and I think it's great that you was able to experience that with them as well. And that's really cool. So what was it like playing a detective as well? You were a deputy in, where is it, Bougieville or Bogeyville?
Bogeyville,
Or
Bogeyville.
Bogeyville. How was that? I can see you playing a cop though. I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, that's a full 180 coming from the streets where I'm from to play a policeman, showing all the man them, yo, look what I've done. Look at me. Um,
Sell out.
yeah, do you know it's really fun because it's set
Mm.
in like Atlanta, Georgia,
Oh, sick.
um back in like the 60s. It's a
Mm.
vampire horror film.
Wow.
Quick plug is being accepted to Fright Fest
Oh, sick.
um,
That's amazing.
on the 25th of August, which is
Hmm.
Carnival Sunday. We have our premiere, which is 9 p.m., but that's sold out.
Hmm.
But Fright Fest, for the first time, have given a film another screening.
Oh,
So
wow.
on the Monday,
Hmm.
Carnival Monday,
Okay.
trying to get people to come and it's difficult. But
Yeah.
yeah, Carnival Monday, we got another screening, 26th of August, Bogeyville,
Hmm.
set in the deep south in America, it's vampire horror film. It was fun, man. It was fun, getting in with the accent. I
Hmm.
got to drive the police car, left-hand drive as
Oh,
well, turn
wow.
on the
Okay. Yeah,
sirens.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was epic, man. It was
Mhm.
yeah, great makeup artist, great team, crew, director, script as well. And I love it with scripts where, you know, the script is the guide. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can come off script. Like there's something like some productions you go on where you can't, you have
Mhm.
no play at all and it doesn't sound very natural. Where, he made it work for everyone because again, not everyone was amazing with the southern accent. So if there's certain words they could drop so they can
Okay.
continue their dialogue
Good.
without,
Good.
you know,
Good.
yeah, it was really good, man. It was a great production. I was there. Funny enough, I only thought I'd be on set about 3 days, and I ended up being on probably like 9, 10 days.
Hmm.
Yeah, so my character, he was supposed to go early, but then he got extended, and
Okay.
yeah, so who knows
Okay.
if the black guy makes it through this horror film? We don't
Hmm.
know, innit? You have to watch it to see. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I got a few more days, which
Hmm.
was nice,
Hmm.
and yeah, it was just fun, man, just
Hmm.
fun. Like, everyone in makeup in full costume,
Hmm.
just we had an international cast as well. The lead actor is from Indonesia. He's a big actor in Indonesia. The deputy that was with me for like most of the film, he's from Indonesia as well. He's a big actor.
Hmm.
And yeah, I just met some great people on set, man, who again I've gone to events, screenings, and I'm seeing the same people again. You just build that community
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
just like a family. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
definitely. I love that. I love that. That's so good. That's so good that you got to experience that. And like, what was it like even like doing the American accent? Was this the first time like you like did that? And who were your inspirations when you pulled into that accent as well?
Um, so it was a southern accent, and I feel like generally, especially as black people, it's a lot easier to do the
Okay.
Southern American accent because growing up, we've watched a lot of like films where slavery and stuff, the deep
Mm.
South
Yeah, yeah,
racism.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you get a lot of the slow
Mm-hmm.
Southern drawl. It's a lot easier to pull off the accent because it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
slower, and you're
Mm-hmm.
you know long stretching out the words and the
Elongated words, because
vowels.
that's how they do it. Like letters,
Yeah.
they stretch it out, Americans a lot when they talk.
Yeah, so yeah, it was fun. Again, the
Mhm.
accent wasn't perfect, but it was, it did the job. Um, I find as long as you can get an accent to a good base
Mhm.
where it doesn't affect your acting, and as long as your acting is up there, people can, forgive you if the accent's not great. You see it in Hollywood all the time. Like, a lot of people talk about Leonardo DiCaprio. He's always doing different accents, different regions, and a lot of people say his accents aren't great in the films that he does, but because he's so committed to the character, committed to the role,
Yeah.
you just let him off. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're like, "Do you know what? It wasn't great, but he
Mhm.
was he was good."
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it was fun. It was fun doing it. Everyone's helping each other out as well. So if you're struggling with a bit of the accent, there's other people on set who are, older actors who are more experienced,
Mhm. Mhm.
during breaks, we're going over lines and
Love
just,
it. Love
as I
it.
said, I love independent film for that reason. Everyone's not just sitting in their trailer doing their own thing and then turning up on set. Everyone's just
Yeah.
together and, making sure that it works.
Yeah, I understand. And I love the point you made what you said about improv because on my set, so if I've written something and I'm like directing it or something like that, I always allow the actors to improvise because I think it's important. Sometimes we might write something and if we've not heard it out loud, it might not flow. Because sometimes like when you write something, it's not how people talk. So the fact that will have you had that freedom of to improvise, especially when you're speaking in an accent which isn't, you're used to doing as well. I think that's so strong. And that's what helps performances be stronger, by changing words here and there. It's not changing the story,
Mm.
it's just a word here and a word there, but some people are so like rigid and like anal about what it is and like no you've got to say this that and sometimes it can pull back the performance, so I think that's so good that the director allowed you to have that freedom within the film. So is that out? When can I see this or
That's what I mean. The premiere is on
okay,
the
oh yes,
26th.
oh
Yeah, the
yes,
26th
right,
of
yes, yes,
August.
yes.
But then
Oh,
it'll be
okay,
distributed after. But
okay.
yeah, if anyone wants to come and see it,
Hmm.
26th of August, Leicester Square, Odeon,
Hmm.
8:45. I need to
Okay,
put out another post because I put out a post for the
yeah,
original one, but
okay,
that's sold out in the first day.
okay. I want to
So
see this because it sounds amazing and it's a black horror, yeah, like is it mostly black cast or is it just
no,
a
no, 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 no. It's
okay,
no, it's there's a few of us black people in there.
okay,
It's just
okay.
mixed again. It's an
Okay,
international
that's great.
cast. You've got
That's great.
actors from abroad,
Good,
all
good.
over, like northern actors, people that came down from up north,
Love that.
Scotland,
Love that.
everyone. It was just
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
Okay. Perfect. No, I love that. I love that. So, as I said, you've got so much going on. So, you've got upcoming 15 credits on IMDb that I saw.
Let me have a
So,
look.
what have you got going on or what you can share?
Um, Let me have a look myself as well.
Like, there's so much, but it might just take up too much time.
Um, what can I say here? Well, Remember Us
Okay.
is in the completed section.
Hmm.
So that's a feature film that
Okay.
I came in for a day on that one.
Okay.
That's getting distributed on the 29th of October.
Okay.
Um, Important film about a
Hmm.
youth that
Hmm.
gets into trouble, like he's a bit of a bad breed,
Sure.
and
Okay.
he gets put on community service.
Hmm.
And on his community service, he's delivering like fruits to this elderly man that's got
Mm.
dementia.
Okay.
And then they build up a friendship. And yeah, it's such a good story, man. I've seen a
That
few of the
sounds nice.
shots
I
and
like
something I'm really looking forward to watching.
okay.
So yeah, there's that one. We've got Should Have Waited,
Hmm.
which was my first lead as a on a feature film, sorry.
Okay.
It's a mental health film
Hmm.
about a character who, goes through a bit of turmoil, has a bit of a loses everything, everything, and has a bit of a breakdown. It was
Okay.
a real challenge to get into that role. I spoke to a family friend who's a mental health worker, and we
Hmm.
spoke about mental health. Spoke to one of my friends who recently, one of his close friends at the time had not long committed suicide, and it came out of the blue. It was a shock,
Okay.
and I really respect him because he
Hmm.
he really went he went to places he didn't need to go, and it really helped me really get into that mindset because you can obviously watch videos online, go on
Hmm.
YouTube, find out stuff about characters, but it was
Hmm.
really nice to speak to two people who are directly affected
Hmm.
by it, and yeah, get those experiences. And yeah, that's been accepted into a few festivals.
Nice.
So it's on this festival. Well,
Yeah.
it's just been submitted to festivals, been accepted
Hmm.
by a couple,
Okay.
you
Good.
know,
Good.
first time feature film from the director as well.
Mhm.
So a
That's
lot of
nice.
learning for everyone involved. Like
Yeah.
the DOP, it was his first feature film.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, producer as well, her first feature film. It was,
Okay.
yeah, it was a
Hmm.
very good experience.
Hmm.
We learned a lot from it.
Hmm.
So they're writing their next feature and a few more
Amazing.
short films. So
Amazing.
the only way is up. You only learn from what's
Exactly.
happened. So
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. Wow. Well, I know you got a bunch, and we could sit here for ages going through all that, but there's a good teaser. So um I've been
oh,
asked
there's
a
one
lot.
more actually. There's one
Oh,
more I want
okay.
to plug
Go
as
on,
well.
go on.
So there's
Okay.
one called The Dancing Queen.
Mm.
which
Okay.
is we shot that in January, February of this year.
Okay.
It's Black Swan meets Save the Last Dance
Okay.
with
Okay.
kids,
Okay.
with kids
Okay.
involved.
Okay.
So that was my first film working with a bunch of kids because
Hmm.
I've worked with kids before on set, but this was like, I had a bunch of kids like with
Mm.
me in the
Okay.
scene.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a rom-com, definitely
Mm. Okay.
romantic drama, rom-com.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that was fun. It was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, indie film,
Hmm.
not a lot of takes, having to get through a lot
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
short space of time, but it was a
Hmm.
great experience. Everyone pulling together. The kids were amazing.
Okay.
The lead actress, she went through a lot of emotions in that film.
Mm.
I had a lot of fun because,
What, were
got to
you the
play
love
with the kids.
interest? Were you like what were you playing?
Yeah, I was the love interest. I was the love
Okay.
interest.
Okay, look at
Which
you
was
in the
nice, it's nice for the ego. You know what I mean? When someone approaches you and was like, "Oh, do you know what? Will you be the love interest?" I was like,
yeah.
"Oh, looking in the mirror, okay." You know what I mean? Thank you. So
Yes. In your soft boy
yeah.
era.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, it was nice, man. It was a
Okay.
nice film. I think it should be coming out like between September and November around that time.
Mhm.
Not too sure because
Mhm.
you know how these things are.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
that's one that'll be interesting. It's nice. It's
Mhm.
something different, something fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of leaning more into the fun. Like
Mm.
since Sunday dinner, because I tried to stay away from comedy
Mm.
because I didn't want to get into the industry doing comedy because I thought people might not be able to take me seriously or I get stuck doing comedy.
Okay, okay.
And I might not be able to pivot into the drama. So I tried to
Mhm.
stay away from it. And comedy is like it's my natural thing. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yes,
And
that
doing Sunday
literally.
dinner,
Mhm.
everyone that watched that, they were just like, "Oh
Mhm.
my God, I loved your character. I loved the," and I loved playing that character. That's
Mhm.
probably my favorite character I played.
Mhm.
Like I loved just the cheekiness about him, the
Mhm.
funness, just the banter.
Mhm. Mhm.
And again, it was a Sunday dinner, just
Yes,
family,
yes,
Caribbean
yes,
environment. It was
yes,
just
yes.
the
Mhm.
crew as well, just everything, man. This whole experience was just
Mhm.
yeah, it's my favorite. Like definitely, I'd love for that to be expanded somehow if it ever does one day.
Listen,
A
ask Monique,
series, a
okay? Because
film.
I
Who
know,
knows?
I think it's like a feature film. I think she has like an idea, but ask Monique. Ask Monique. She's actually been on my podcast actually as well in the first season. So probably have to tag her and be like, Monique, hello, get to work.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? But we know
Yeah.
these.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not. It doesn't come overnight. You know what I mean?
No,
For it to be
exactly.
good, it could take years for it to be
Yeah, yeah. You
ready.
want the script to be tight, really, really strong.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, nice. Well, I've been asking actors this for like the whole season as well. So are there any like films or TV shows which you love or currently just come out this year that you would have loved to have been in?
TV shows.
And films.
Oh,
Or
and films.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, or so Succession.
Very good show.
Yeah, like the
Mm.
writing.
Mhm.
I love the fact that they were multi-cameraing as well. So you got a lot of play in there.
Yeah.
Real reactions.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd have loved to have been in that.
Hmm.
Like if the family was obviously black, I would like to have been like one of the main
Well,
family.
Black Succession,
Yeah, trust me. No, I love
Yeah.
Succession. What have I watched recently? Like Ozark.
Okay.
Like I like dark stuff as well.
Okay.
So I would love to
Okay.
have been in something like Ozark.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the British stuff, obviously like Supercell,
Mm,
you
of
know. But
course.
I know part two is coming, and
Yeah.
I'm fresh with my agent now, so I need to let them know in it, like, yo, get me
Hmm.
in season two.
Yeah.
But again, you know what I
Andre's
mean?
brother, Andre's brother, I'm just saying,
You know what I'm saying?
See?
Exactly that.
Hmm.
So, but you know what it is? I don't know, man. I'm just having fun, man. You know what I
Good.
mean? I
Good.
don't really stress too much about. I get a
Hmm.
lot of people telling me like, "Oh, bro, I could have seen you in that show." Like obviously when Top
Mm.
Boy was like, "Oh, bro, I could
Yeah,
have seen
yeah,
you in Top Boy
yeah, of
100%."
course.
I said, "Yeah, yeah, I know
Mm.
I could have done that, but it wasn't my time."
Yeah, yeah.
Supercell, "Oh, bro, I could have seen you in Supercell 100%." I said, "Yeah,
Mm.
I know as well, but it weren't my time." You
Mm,
know what I
mm.
mean? Like that was those actors' time. A lot of them have been doing it for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
You know what I
Hmm.
mean? There's no overnight successes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know when I do get my shot, I would have earned it and
Hmm.
I'll be ready to push on. It's not going to be a case of, oh, just throw me in something. I
Hmm.
do well and then I'm a flash in the pan and then I'm done. So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah, when my time comes, I'm in no rush. Like I'm
Mm,
in this for the long haul.
love that.
I'm having fun, as I said. I'm
Yeah.
picking up roles along the way. I love indie film.
Hmm.
You know, I'm doing more. I've done a couple of plays now.
Good,
I've just got a role basically in another play, which
good,
will be
good.
in October.
Amazing.
So yeah, I got a meeting with them on Monday
Hmm.
with the cast that will go through the
Yeah,
script,
yeah,
which is fun. Again, like
yeah, yeah.
it's what I want to do. I
Hmm.
want to be out there performing, getting better. Um, yeah, as I
Hmm.
said, I'm not driven by the money or the fame and all that kind of stuff. Like, you
Hmm.
know, I'm not. I think we called in football. I'm not big time in it. Like, I'm not big
Hmm.
time. Like, I don't
Hmm.
think I'm better than anyone.
Hmm.
Although I do have an unwavering confidence, which at times can come across as arrogance. And I understand that. But the reason why I have that is because of my sport background.
Hmm.
Because I always tell people that when you're playing football or even boxing, let's use boxing as an example, you always have to believe that you're going to win whoever you're fighting against. You can never go in there with an air of doubt. Because as soon as you have any air of doubt, you're
Hmm.
going to be laid out on the floor in front of your family, like lights
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
gas and
yeah.
air waking you
Mm,
up. Like you
yeah,
always have to believe you're going to win.
yeah.
So at times when I'm like, yeah, I'm going for this, like I expect things. I
Mm,
expect to win. I expect to get this. If I do a self tape, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I expect to get it, but I forget about it. I'm not
mm,
attached to it. I'm like, okay, I've been asked to tape for this. I feel I'm right for the role. I should get this role. That's
mhm,
my mindset. I
mm,
do the tape, send it off, forgotten about it. I'm not
mhm,
attached to it no more. So
mhm,
whoever it goes to, it was their thing.
mhm,
But it's just the mindset that I have where
mm.
you have to believe you're going to win constantly.
Yeah.
You can't have
Mhm,
any doubts because it will
yeah.
show up. Like if you
Mm,
go on set with like Denzel, obviously that's the dream.
mhm.
Other actors always say when you're on set with Denzel, every take he does something different. He tests you every time to
Wow.
see if you're
Wow.
at his level. He
Yeah,
doesn't, you know, he
yeah,
wants to
yeah.
act with people who should be there. So
Mm,
I'm like, if I'm going to be on set with Denzel, I deserve to be here. You know what I mean? If I got a
mm,
self tape for a film with Denzel, I should get that because I deserve to be there. That's just my mindset. I may not be good
mhm.
enough, but I have to believe I'm good enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Always.
yeah.
So
That's
that's
a
just what I
champion's
try to
mindset.
instill to other actors and
Mm,
creatives that you always
mhm,
have to believe you're going to win. You have to believe you're the best.
mhm,
And it's not arrogance, it's confidence, and it will show in your work. You
mhm,
know, if I'm going to produce a film and I'm like, I need a producer, and I come to you, I need a producer. Who's the
mhm.
best producer you know? You better say it's you.
Oh, I always say, listen, you won't get a producer like me. Okay.
Exactly that.
Mhm.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But over here in England, it's frowned upon
Oh,
to
yeah.
be confident in
Hmm.
yourself and to talk about yourself. And I'm not here bragging. It's not ever about bragging.
Mm.
You another example. Sorry, man. Like, this gets me really passionate. Say like say say I'm selling this water bottle. Well,
Hmm.
you can't really see it. But I'm selling this water bottle.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you it's the best water bottle you can find.
Hmm.
And no one's going to be like, oh, you're too confident about your water bottle.
Hmm.
Like, I'm allowed to be confident about an object I'm selling you.
Hmm.
Why can't I be confident about myself?
Exactly, exactly.
Like,
That's why America is so different, and that's why America is where it is when it comes to the industry and how people get because they are so driven and confident. Like I was in Cannes earlier this year, and when I was at a party, this American guy just came out of nowhere to us and then just started talking and was like, "Hi, yes, I'm a full-time Emmy winner, blah blah blah." I was like, "Whoa, okay, roll down the whole CV then." But that's how they are. That's why they're successful, and that's what successful people are. They have a champion's mindset. It's very mental, and that's how people are successful. If you walk around negative and stuff, then it's not that. But the UK, you're right, loves to be like humble and they love humility and oh wait, I'm good. Oh my gosh, I can't believe like that's what they prefer. Where it's like no one lives like that. It's not to say that you're being arrogant or rude. It's just you should have confidence in yourself, and that's what's going to get you far. So totally agree. So where can people find you, and your previous work and stuff like that?
um, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok.
Yeah.
Rico Morris 2020, all one word. Obviously there's a lot of the stuff that I've done hasn't been released,
Hmm.
or you may see it on YouTube if you type in like my name or some of the films. Again, if you go on my Instagram, like most of the stuff that's been released, I'll post it on there. A lot of things are in post
Hmm.
production because, as you know, like a lot of self-funded films,
Hmm.
it's quite easy to get the funding to make the film, but then you get to post production, you realize, damn, I need a lot
Hmm.
more money, and you don't
Hmm.
want to cut corners, so the
Exactly.
films get delayed.
And
So
distribution deals, that's like the biggest thing because that's where the money is really.
exactly. So
Hmm.
yeah, as I say, if you follow me
Hmm.
on Instagram, if you're creative, I always follow back. You know, if I see in your thing, you know, actor, director,
Hmm.
singer, composer, whatever, if I see that in there, I'll follow you back because I know you're not just like just
Hmm.
anyone. And again, it's
Hmm.
all about making connections. And I'm
Hmm.
grateful that you've chosen to follow me. You know what I mean? You didn't have to, so it's just
Yeah,
why would I
yeah,
not follow you back?
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, exactly. Nice.
yeah.
Well, thanks, Rico, for coming on the show. This has been such a good chat. See, I
Well,
didn't know
thanks for
you were
having
so
me.
deep. I love it. I love it. See, this is what I
Yeah,
love
I
doing.
could have gone deeper, but I've been holding back. I've been holding back.
Hey, hey, we'll be chatting for 2 hours. People don't want to listen to that. So it's been great having you on, and I'm really excited to see where your career goes next. And I know you're just going to continue to soar. I know soon I'm going to see a post of you casted in some big production. I can see it coming soon. So
God
just
willing. Let's
wishing
put
you
that
all,
energy out there. Energy
yeah, yeah,
out there.
yeah. I wish you
Yeah.
all the best. I love it. I love to know more about you and your mindset. Yeah, you're gonna go far. So it's good. So yeah,
Yeah, hopefully, man. They got that saying that, you know, hard work beats talent if talent
always,
doesn't work hard. And
always.
I'm not saying I'm the most talented person. I know I do have talent.
Hmm.
I, you know, I'm good enough to play the roles that I've played and hopefully the
Hmm.
roles that I'm gonna get in the future. But I work hard,
Hmm.
you know, so you know, and I put myself in positions where I can take opportunities. So,
Hmm.
you know, actors work hard. When opportunities come up, if it's paid or not paid, just weigh up the opportunity, you know.
Hmm.
Like, was that lady that was in Supercell? She did a short film with Sheila Naughty
Oh yes, yes, yes,
like
yes.
10 years ago.
And now look, yeah,
And now
and the
look,
director, Sebastian Till, like she produced his short film as well. Like, and they
yeah,
all ended up on Supercell
this is what I
working
mean.
together. So that's
You go
what's.
and do good work, people remember each other, you know, you're
Mhm,
nice to work with.
mhm.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for what have you got coming up? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I'll tell you later. I can't drop everything on here, but yeah. So thanks guys again for listening. You can follow me all of my socials. You know them. There's a bunch of them. Stay tuned for the season finale coming very, very soon.